The senator gave him a dark, stern look. You have no idea what... No, you have no idea what it was like! Watching her cry because you weren't there, because we were your dirty little secret! She loved you, and you abandoned her when she needed you the most! Twice! Corbin felt hot. Stinging tears began to pool in his eyes. You didn't see how she suffered, or how she wasted away to nothing! You weren't there! You have no idea where I was or wasn't back then, Senator Hunter stated in a flat tone, his volume rising with his own anger. I've worked hard to get where I am now, and I've done a lot more for you and your mother than you'll ever really know. I risked a lot just getting you out of quarantine. I don't want to see you piss it away. You need to stop this crusade now, Corbin. You need to stand down and stay quiet, and maybe those jackals will lose interest and leave you alone. You say you don't want this attention, then now's the time to stop being involved in this political mess, before it's too late, before you ruin the work I've put into all of this. I have spent the past few years putting together a strategy that will work to bring rights back to the infected. Let me do my job as senator, and let yourself be free from this whole ordeal. If you stop now, you could still have a chance at a normal life. I love Santa. His happy face is all over our home, sitting on our Christmas tree, smiling on our gift wrap, and stitched onto my sweater. Santa's on our front door, on our mailbox, even on Grandma and Grandpa's car. Every Christmas Eve, my grandparents drive to our house and spend the night with us. It's one of our family traditions. After dinner, Grandpa hands me a present. Grandma tells me to open it carefully with my little sister. I help her untie the bow, and we both look inside the box. First, we see a cherry red hat. Then a bushy beard appears. Next, we find a pair of twinkling brown eyes and a jiggly belly, and we know who it is. Santa! One of the earliest hopes for black sanctuary was Fort Mose, Florida, the first known free black settlement in British North America. It was built in 1738 by Africans who had fled the plantations of the Carolinas for the Spanish settlement of St. Augustine in northeastern coastal Florida. While St. Augustine had a somewhat integrated population comprising Indian tribes and formerly enslaved Africans who had been arriving there since as early as 1683, Fort Mose was established outside the city exclusively for the newer African refugees from the plantation. The Spanish policy, decreed by the Crown in 1693, was that any enslaved person who made it to Spain's American territories would be at least eligible for freedom. As South Carolina's enslaved African population swelled in the 1730s, particularly in Charleston, word began circulating about the opportunity for liberty in St. Augustine. All the enslaved would have to do was survive a journey of hundreds of miles of swamp, marsh, and sometimes hostile natives along the coast to reach Spanish Florida. But liberty would come in limited form. Betsy looked at Jamark with a look of embarrassment on her face. Jamark smiled. "Try to keep this a little quieter," he said in a tone barely above a whisper. "But Jamark," Betsy said. "The devil? Is he really following you?" "Betsy," Jamark said, "I owe the devil. He helped me get my life together in a way no one else did. All he asks is that I give him a little shout-out now and then. In exchange, I get to play baseball. I was so desperate at the time, I thought it was a good idea. It's really no big deal. It's okay. But I wanted to let you know." "I'm worried for you," she said. "The good books of Satan is not to be played with. Even books that aren't as good warn against dealing with the devil. As a matter of fact, even bad books say don't mess with Lucifer. Even self-published, unedited, rambling manuscripts that plump themselves with useless dialogue caution against shaking hands with the Prince of Darkness. It's one thing they all agree on." Jamark reached across the table for her hand and gave it a light squeeze. "I'll be okay," he said. "And if I get in trouble, you will be the first person I go to. I promise."